NBA All-Star Weekend now in the books. Lots of SEC flavor all over the court, and a big weekend. Like if you think about all of Sunday's events, I mean, it was just a huge weekend of sports. You still have the Winter Olympics going on. You had the Daytona 500. You had the NBA All-Star Game. It just felt like and golf as well. Baseball starting, college baseball starting. It just felt like a huge weekend overall.
Yeah, and I mean, we had a pretty good finish over there at Pebble Beach, as you mentioned. Daytona, obviously, with a nice finish there. The NBA All-Star Weekend. So, I mean, you talk about the Sunday after the Super Bowl with no football. I mean, it really lived up to there not really being any football, and we're going to start transitioning here. This is like that weird phase in between football ending and the MLB season starting, because as we're going to see, there's going to be a new Sunday Night Baseball partnership this year. So we'll see how that pans out, but that's still a few months away here. So really it's just going to be, at this point on Sunday, it's going to be the Big Ten men's basketball and women's basketball really dominating the scene. And if you like golf, obviously we've got a bunch of great golf tournaments here coming up in the next month.
No question about it. Going back to the NBA, that it usually ends with the game, but it starts with the dunk contest, and they have the rising stars and everything else. Overall, dunk contest. What's your overall thoughts on this?
All right, I don't even know if you can call this a dunk contest anymore.
No.
It doesn't have that feel anymore, and I feel like the last one that truly encapsulated what the dunk contest was Mac McClung, but he's in the G League,
right?
So like he's not even an NBA guy. And I mean, who won it for a while? Zach LaVine
won it. Remember Aaron Gordon won it one year. It just, I'm with you on. I'm not one of those that, like, the NBA really prides itself on stars. That was David Stern's whole thing. He wanted these guys to be the main faces, the stars of the league being the main faces, because that's how you sold tickets. That's how you sold intrigue and everything else. And I have no problem with, Aaron Gordon or Zach LaVine, but these aren't your superstars. These aren't the guys that are the superstars. And when you go back and think about the dunk contest, when it was at the biggest, it was when your stars were starring in it. It was when Michael Jordan was in it. It was then when Dr. J was in it. It was when I remember Sean Kemp for a while, Vince Carter. These guys that were some of the faces of the league.
It's over.
And it's over. But like those iconic moments live in your brain because of what those stars meant for those teams from November all the way through the end of the season, but then also when they all got together for NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, and now it's like, the dunk contest is over. Like, I just don't even care about it anymore.
Who ended up winning it? Kashad Johnson?
Kashad Johnson, ended up winning over there on the Miami Heat, but I don't even think any of the dunks were that spectacular either. No. It almost feels like it's a lost art now.
Yes.
With the game transitioning so much towards three-point shooting, it almost feels like the dunk contest is kind of just a relic of the past at this point. I mean, I don't have an opinion on it. Like, I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
No, me too.
Like, especially after watching this year, it's like I don't think I can care less.
No, I'm the same way, and especially with the dunk competition, the game's been a little bit different. Skills challenge, the 3-point, the 3-point shooting challenge. I mean, that still brings out some of the stars.
Yeah.
They have some new formats. Your overall thought on the format of the game, United States versus the world, and they rotated the quarters in and out. What are your overall thoughts on it, seeing it year one?
So I feel like Adam Silver and company definitely took a page out of the NHL's book last year.
Yes.
And I've got to say, this might have revived the NBA's version of an All-Star Weekend, because you've got basically what it ended up being was you've got the stars who are like the up-and-coming NBA stars against the Stripes, who are last generation. You've got the Curry, you got the LeBron, like all of those guys going up against the world, and obviously Wembanyama's on the world, Siakam, Luka. I mean, I don't think you could have asked for a better format, in my opinion, because you can't exactly do what hockey did. Because there's just not enough talent around the world in basketball yet. It's starting to get there. We're starting to see. I mean, France played for the gold medal in the Olympics in 24. And, I mean, you're starting to see some of these other countries in Europe start to get there.
Yeah.
But it's just not at the point that the NHL is yet.
No, I don't think so either. And NHL seems to be way more global of a game where you do have a lot of great American players, but you also have incredible international players, and that's kind of what we've seen over the course of the last few seasons. Donovan Mitchell got a chance to speak this past weekend about the games overall and this new format.
Good. It was intense. I think it was what everybody expected, everybody wanted. That was great. The first game set the tone of how it was going to be played, and we went out there and followed suit. I think, our age caught up to us in the second game. Well, not all of us because I'm under 30, but I think at the end of the day, like to see young guys hooping, a world hooping, Kawhi Leonard doing what he does, Bron, KD, like being around that is always a blessing and an honor to be in this stage in front of the fans. Honestly, it's not about the format to me. It's more just about that level, right? And I think that was just the level of play we wanted. I'm not really tripping on any format. Just go out there and hoop amongst the best. I do personally like East and West, but like if it's this, it's fine. If it's not, it's not. I'm not really, for anything.
You mentioned how it kind of took a page out of the NHL's book, and I agree. But also at the same time, I also think that the Olympics overall, the popularity of the Olympics almost kind of gave it an extra flavor of, hey, let's do this United States versus the world, because there's a lot more civic pride. I know in the world you really you can't single out whether it's Germany or Slovenia or whoever.
Right.
So to be able to have all the internationals all at the same time on the same team, I think you could trigger a little bit of what we see with the Olympics every 4 years.
Yeah, and I want to completely throw out the format at all here for a second, because I feel like Donovan Mitchell brought up a word that really resonates with a lot of people's frustrations with all-star games like the Pro Bowl and the NBA All-Star Game, and it's the level of intensity. It almost felt like, and this is especially the case with the Pro Bowl, I will never watch the Pro Bowl.
No.
Like me personally, I'll never watch it because no one cares and no one gives any effort.
That's the thing.
And that
if you don't care, why should I?
That was the problem with the NBA All-Star Game, especially last year. I think the final score was like 190 to 86.
Right.
Like, who wants to watch
Exactly.
a bunch of dudes just stand around and just take 50 billion
Shucking up threes.
three-pointers?
Yeah.
Like, there's no sense in watching that. The MLB, you've still got guys going all out.
Oh, yeah.
And especially with hockey this past year. Now, hockey had a little bit of a problem. And I think what they tried to do is they tried to fix it with the 3-on-3 tournament.
Right.
And that kind of worked, but you still had a bunch of guys just kind of, going through the motions out there, not really caring. And I think what hockey was able to do to at least make the intensity ramp up.
Yeah.
And that's the most underrated thing with these all-star games. They got to have that intensity, and they just haven't had that recently.
Right. I've always heard this. I mean, like, if the players don't care, why should we care?
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
right.
it just seems that way. So it does. I'll give Adam Silver some credit for trying to tweak it to where it does now mean a little bit of something. But as we talked about at the top of the segment, there was a congested sports calendar. And so, like, if you don't get the eyeballs with the intensity, you will never, ever get them. As it relates to the game itself, a former SEC star ended up taking the MVP, former Georgia Bulldog there, and Ant Edwards. He is just so fun to watch. I mean, like, our news anchor here, Peter Albrecht, is from Minnesota, so he watches them, almost every game, and we talk about Ant all the time. He can be, in my eyes, that next level superstar. Now, with NBA superstardom, it's hand in hand. You can't just be a guy scoring a lot of points. You got to play in meaningful games in May and in June. But it seems to be that he is just continuing to rack up his Q rating, so to speak, amongst non-basketball fans.
Yeah, and I almost feel like Minnesota's kind of in like a weird spot right now in regards to the NBA, because they had a nice run last year, ended up running into a brick wall, unfortunately. And ever since Karl Anthony Towns was traded over to New York, I almost feel like, I think I talked about last week, you don't want to stunt growth with MLB teams and having so many players at one position. It almost feels like, this might be crazy to say, Karl Anthony Towns kind of stunted Ant's growth here a little bit, because now he's started to really blossom into that superstar. And I heard a lot of people start to talk about, is he the next face of the game? I don't want to say he's the face of the game, because right now I think SGA's by far and away
I'd agree.
the face of
I would
the
agree.
game.
Right.
A close second would probably be Luke.
Wemby.
Your Joker. Wemby, and then maybe you could throw Ant in there. But I think winning All-Star MVP probably helps that a little bit, gets you a little bit more publicity. But he seems to be like one of those guys. I mean, I'm trying to make a good comparison here, almost like a Paul George type player where he's got that superstar talent, but not a lot of people really see it.
Yeah, and you gotta build this thing because the NBA is it's a game of stages. And I mean, like you have teams that will have to take that first step, that second step, that third step as a team goes, but also the same thing as far as individual skills and talent goes. We heard from Ant after the All-Star game.
He set the tone, and it was definitely competitive with all three teams. I feel like the old heads played hard too. They was playing real good defense. But yeah, he set the tone, man, and it woke me up for sure. It felt good. Kay, before we walked out, Kay was like, man, we got to get our lit back. So, we came out and stomped on him. I feel like it come from the work, like all the hours I put in the gym. I'm always in the gym, so being in the gym, shooting those shots all the time is just you build confidence within that.
Personally, took a little bit of offense to the old heads there, being closer to LeBron James' age than Ant Edwards' age. But he and Donovan both said it. Like, hey, I think going into it, if you were just to put a line on it, I think I would go the young stars, the international stars, then the older stars. But it is still good to see guys like LeBron, like Stephen Curry, KD, still representing the league as the next generation kind of makes their way up and maneuvers their way up. You came up with a fun little game here talking about the All-Star games and how we view them overall, the four major sports.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and rank the top four of the major four All-Star weekends. You want to go first?
I'll go first. So I have a top four that looks like this.
577.
I like Major League Baseball there at number one. I love the fact that we talked about caring and how much that matters, how much that brings you to a TV screen when you feel the stars care. Not only that, the stars play in it. You see Shohei Ohtani in it. You see all of the game's biggest stars playing in the moment. It's not. I'm not like Stephen A. Smith that blames the failures of the dunk contest because he doesn't dunk. I'm just saying that you do see your major stars in the biggest games, which I really like. The National Hockey League, what I love about the NHL is they're constantly tweaking. They've had before they had the divisions, and they had was it last year McDavid and Matthews, Team McDavid, Team Matthews. Was that 2 years ago? Or 24?
2 years ago. Because last year was Four Nations.
That's right, Four Nations last year. Obviously, this year there was no All-Star game because of the Olympics, but they did have like a little cool event leading up to the Olympic Games. And so I feel like with hockey, it's like, number one, they care, but then also, secondly, they're always tweaking it. They're always making it fun for their fans. At number three, it's the NBA, and the same things that we talked about earlier. I just think that, hey, this is a league that could use a lot of help. And that's not a typo. Number 577. That's the distance between baseball and the NFL as far as the All-Star games go. It's a waste. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I'd much rather that time of year. There's a lot of good college basketball on. There's a lot of good golf on. I would much rather watch any other sport than the NFL at this time in their All-Star games. It's disgusting. I hate it. And no, it's 577. That's the gap.
You just take that weekend to get a head start on your scouting or your prepping for the spring seasons at that point. I'm trying to think what golf tournament's on that weekend before, because I think it's the
American Express, would it be?
No, it's the one that Justin Rose won this year, because I think Scotty won the American Express. It's another goodness, it's escaping me.
Yeah, I'm blanking on it too.
Over there at Torrey Pines.
Yes,
It's the one over there at Torrey Pines. Oh, Farmers Invitational. And honestly, that's more so. I watch golf more than I watch the Pro Bowl that weekend. So I mean, I don't really. I just don't watch the Pro Bowl. Simply put. Mine is a lot of the same, but a little bit different. Number one is definitely Major League Baseball, because the only thing where you really don't see some of these stars participate in is the home run derby.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't expect Aaron Judge to participate in it every year because,
right.
I mean, if you're talking about your true power hitters, the same one's just going to win over and over
That's
again.
right.
So it gives the young guys an opportunity to show themselves. Like Bobby Witt Jr., a lot of people didn't really hear about him up until a few years ago, and he's really started. I hate to say it because I'm a Mets fan, but he might be better than Francisco Lindor. He might be the best shortstop in the game right now. So that's just what the All-Star game has been able to do for Major League Baseball. And baseball is America's pastime, and I feel like it's the most traditional All-Star game that you don't have to do anything to because it'll always have that special feel. They call it the Midsummer Classic for a reason. Number 2 is the National Hockey League because of what they were able to do last year.
Right.
If they can find a system to where every 2 years you have 4 nations and the Olympics, that's going to be pure gold. I don't care what you do that year in between each of them, but whatever it is, I don't care because if you can get 4 nations in the Olympics on every other year, it doesn't water it down. We don't get 4 nations every year because eventually it'll get watered down. You at least have that year in between. So I love what they've been able to do, and the Olympics this year have been great as well. Here's where it's a little bit different. It's not number 3, it's 100.
Okay, yeah.
They're starting to find something here, but I need to see a little bit more consistency here. I just still. Some players are bought into it, like Victor Wembanyama. He was truly bought into it. He really set the tone, as Anthony Edwards said. But I still need a little bit more.
Just a little more,
And the NFL is dead last at 577. It's just so unwatchable.
It's unwatchable. I mean,
It
at this point, and I don't really care about the skills competition and all of that. Just honestly, just name a Pro Bowl team and let everybody just take the week off because it's what it has.
Nobody cares.